happy birthday month to me. I'm so excited. There's been a lot going on, and originally there was supposed to be another video before this one. However, I don't know, the struggles of doing all of this on your phone while having a new baby, it's too much for one phone. But if you've been following along on my Instagram, you know that I recently just lost my job. Margin, the cat. I recently just lost my job, so I'm trying not to spend money. So getting a vlogging camera for this stuff and a new computer and all of that is on the back burner until things get squared away. So I'm trying to take it easy on spending a little bit, and long story short, we're gonna do another Let's Unwind video. I'm repurposing already sketched out canvas, so please ignore if you can tell, which I don't know if you can. I can barely see the lines that are already drawn on this, but we're gonna paint over it. We're just gonna go with it. Today's drink is actually not alcoholic. It is this toasted coconut mocha from Starbucks. It's a limited edition flavor. I get this at Target. It is delicious. I normally drink it iced because I like to add it with the dark chocolate cocoa powder and then coconut syrup. However, one, I ran out of coconut syrup, and two, it's a nice cool breeze today. I wanted hot coffee. So we have our Jack and Sally mug that my bestie got me, and I think she got it when they went to Florida on vacation. I don't know, but super cute. Even though I'm not, as you can tell, into a whole lot of color, I love this mug. It's one of my favorites. I love the mugs that are shaped like this. I don't know why, they're like the perfect size for me, but it's hot coffee. So this is our drink for today. Thank you, Starbucks. And on the opposite side of things, today we are going to paint a cactus. I have been wanting to paint this so bad. I don't know why. I'm like really into cacti right now, but yeah, I am. Maybe it's because I can't grow a plant to save my life, but that's what we are doing. So first, we are going to start with our background colors. I'm going to use this yellow ochre and this grass green, although I'm going to make this a little darker. Water, and I have my background colors all set. So, and we have our coffee and our water, so let's get started. I'm going to start first because most of the background is going to be this yellow and gold that I mixed together, well, yellow ochre and gold. So we're going to start with that. Cover a majority of the background with this. I don't have to be real specific about the lines. I will be more specific with the green when I do that. I do like to get the edges of my canvas. You don't have to, but that's just something I prefer. And since this is acrylic, you want to make sure you continually wet your brush so that you can get that smoother effect, because it will get kind of like a cakey feeling and get kind of tacky as it's drying, and it does have a really fast drying time. A sketch underneath this, I do want to get it on kind of thick. I might actually have to end up doing 2 layers for this, but it's perfectly fine. And then I like to go one way when I first put it on and then smooth it out by going the opposite direction. I did not like clean out my brush completely. There's still some green on it. I actually don't mind that. I like it kind of when I have some of the accent color along with the other color, at least for this painting. And as I move up my picture, I will like right now I'm putting a good deal of pressure on the canvas to try to like get it in there. But then when I go back up the painting, I release the pressure and I'm barely doing a sweeping motion. And that helps get rid of any of the lines. It helps smooth out the paint. And I will have to go back and do another layer of the yellow. One of the pre-outlined canvases from me for any of these Let's Unwind canvases, then a lot of times the background color, if it's a lighter color, you still can see your lines and you don't have to go back and like kind of retrace or anything, which does help because you're going to cover them up when you're painting the actual picture anyway. So, but for this case, I'm doing it freehand, so we want the whole background to be covered since it's not the picture that we will be doing. So the yellow will, or gold, whichever you want to call it, will cover about 2/3 of the canvas. This dry and then I'll flip it over. That way I can do the underside yellow and then do the second layer. Okay, since acrylic does dry very fast, when you touch it, you can touch different parts, and if it feels tacky or you get it on your finger, then it's not dry yet. Normally I have a towel that I have next to me anytime I'm painting. I just buy some cheap dollar store ones that I think are cute because they will get very ratty very fast. But today has been the Monday-est Friday ever, so I'm just going to use one of the baby's wet wipes and move on with my day. Okay, so it should be about good now. We're going to go ahead and turn this. If it's not drying as fast, like if you put on the paint too thick and it's taking too long to dry, you can always use an air dryer. Put it on the cool setting. Hair dryer, not an air dryer, hair dryer. Put it on the cool setting and then hold it about a foot out and lightly go over it, but continuously move it because you don't want to like cook the paint. We're going to have the canvas orientated this way. And we're going to do the same thing that we did before, only we're going to go back over the same area. Just going to mix some water into the rest of my gold paint so that it's very fluid. If you put too much water in it though, it'll look more like watercolor and be really thin. We don't want it transparent, we want it thick because we want to cover. So you'll see that I'm only going one direction with this to smooth out the paint. That's because I want it to be thick. I'm going to go and I'm going to place the paint where I see lines and then smooth it out so that it'll cover the whole area. And even if there's thinner parts of the paint, that's over just plain white areas, it'll all be fluid and look the same. It's fine to have a variation in depth of color though, depending on what you want. If you want it to be completely the same all the way through, then one, make sure you rinse out your brush when you mix your colors, and two, let it completely dry, and you might have to do 2, 3, 4 layers depending on how thin you water down your paint. Another little trick too, if you do, instead of a solid one color where I mix the gold, it's going to help cover those lines behind it. If you're covering up an existing painting, adding multiple colors together will help create a variation in the background, so that if any of the lines do show through, or any color that was there before shows through, you're not going to notice it when you look at it. Well, you might, because you're the artist, but 9 times out of 10, most people, unless they have an artistic eye themselves, they probably won't even see it unless you point it out. Also, creating brush strokes in the opposite direction of any lines that you have is going to help cover it as well. So my lines on my canvas are going, a lot of them are going up and down, so I'm creating brush strokes horizontally, and it's covering it really easy. And then if you orientate yourself on different parts of the canvas, where you orientate your view on different parts of the canvas, then you can tell from different light sources where it is. Marks underneath the paint covered up, I'm gonna go through, and that's why I'm kind of standing in front of it. The shadow will show me places that have a thinner amount of paint that I need to also go over, and then I just smooth out the whole thing. And as you can tell, maybe, I hope you can tell, I haven't used hardly any water this time around because I want the paint to be thicker. Separates the two colors, and then work my way out so that I don't have to be as careful except for the first stroke. And I'm not even going to wait for the yellow to dry, because if it's a little bit damp, it actually creases the two colors together really nicely and crisp. I do want to get as much of the yellow out of my brush as I can though, because I don't want the yellow in the green, if that makes sense. So I did darken this green a little bit and change the color. So first I used grass green, and then I mixed it with some raw umber, as well as a little bit of this thylacine green. So it's like a turquoise. So I was afraid that I got too much water in my brush before I put the paint on, and it started to like come down a little bit. So that's why I started above the yellow. That way I can move it down, because I know how I am when I paint, and that happens more often than not. So I knew to start ahead. Also, the first time I put the line down, I never get the line straight. The great thing about these skinnier, like regular wrapped canvases is that they're small enough that I can use my 2 fingers, my ring finger and my pinky, to hold it up, and I can get like the very edge on the back of the canvas before it like goes back over the framing. I can't do that with the gallery wrapped canvases. My hands are too tiny, so. Take longer if you have a smaller brush, like how I have a smaller brush. My bigger brush I actually used yesterday when I was painting, or the day before, so it's still like drying, and it's mostly used for oils, so it does take a little bit longer. If you have a bigger paintbrush, it will take less time, and your line for your green on this one will be a lot more straight than if you have a smaller brush, because you can cover more surface area as you come down with your paintbrush than you do with this size. You'll also notice I'm not doing any drying time in between. I'm just packing on the paint and smoothing it out as I go, because it is a darker color. It's not going to take as much. I don't have to be as precise with it. Up and to my left a little bit, so I'm going to try to even that out. not that confident in doing it freehand, I mean, obviously it's not going to be perfectly straight, but I just prefer to do it freehand because it just helps keep my skills sharp. But if you're brand new, just doing this for fun, one, do it at an angle if you are afraid of it, or get a longer ruler that is longer than what your canvas is and trace it, and then just wash off the ruler and you'll get a straight line. Or you can also use washi tape. That's another thing too, but like I said, I like to do it freehand. So we're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna drink some more of my coffee, change laundry around because it's a very Monday-ish Friday. Like I said before, I am trying to get a head start on the weekend while I still have free days, and yeah, and then hopefully we will have time to finish this before I have to start picking up kids and groceries. Hi guys! So if you can't tell, I had to stop, go get babies, and it's a couple days later, and now we're finally going to finish it. However, excuse the gym attire, I did just get back from the gym, ate some breakfast, made more coffee. This might even be the same cup as before. I washed it, don't worry. I'm pretty sure that's the cup I had in the beginning of the video. That's funny. And then I have my Fabletics leggings and matching sports bra that I wore today. And I stole DJ's Anytime Fitness shirt. I think this is the first time I've worn Anytime Fitness shirt into the gym and people haven't thought that I might work there. Although I did get some weird stares. So, and they were probably like, you don't work here. Why are you wearing that? Or where did you get that? But my boyfriend, he trains part-time. I stole it. Yeah. So, side note, I got this new cinnamon coffee from Target. It's by Good & Gather, and it's the ish. I'm telling you, I was so excited to drink this coffee when I left the gym. So, Anytime and Starbucks share a building. Okay, they're like back to back. If I leave the parking space, I can just get in to the Starbucks line. I had no interest in getting Starbucks because I was excited to drink this. That never happens. If you know me, you're probably pissing your pants right now in shock because, yeah, it's that good. So I will link the cinnamon vanilla from Good & Gather. I will link the Target link in the description box below. If you're a cinnamon junkie like me, then this is going to be heaven for you. Okay. Oh my god, so good. If you're judging me, it's okay. Okay, so let's finish this painting. We did a gold background. I mixed the gold and the yellow together, and then I did a darker green on this side, and then we're gonna paint a cute little cactus. Okay, so I mixed just this ocean green that I'm obsessed with some black and got this really pretty muted green color that we are going to use. And this is actually going to be hopefully pretty simple. I've never painted a cactus in my life, so we'll see. But I'm going to start at the bottom, and I think I'm going to offset it a little bit. I'm going to do one big one and then a little one, so just gonna make the general shape at first. green color in my thing, but it's kind of painting like it's blue. So let's go ahead and paint the base layer. It looks kind of green on camera. I don't know. Okay, now I got kind of like a general shape. Now I'm gonna do waves on the outside. Sounds exactly like in and out, in and out. And there's kind of a glare from where I'm sitting because I want you guys to be able to see obviously what I'm doing and not sit in front of it. So my head might get in your way a little bit. Now we're gonna sit and let that dry. Okay, so this is not dry yet, but I was trying to decide if I was going to make the second little cactus bulb thing peeking out shorter or taller, and I think I'm gonna do taller. So I'm gonna get some water on our paintbrush and then really give a generous amount of to do this over the line of the darker color, you are going to want to put it on thicker, or you're going to want to only put your line like a little bit down and like leave some space, maybe outline the cactus first if you want. The only reason I didn't is because I'm just doing this kind of off the cuff. I had a general idea of what I wanted to do and then I'm doing it. And I also had a picture stenciled underneath it already that I was more worried about covering up first. So you will have a harder time covering up a darker color with a lighter color. Sometimes it works really good and it gives you some depth and shadow, and then other times it's kind of a pain in the neck and you have to keep going over it. So while this was drying, I went ahead and mixed a lighter green color. I'm actually going to use this for some highlights and probably the needles on the cactus. And then I also darkened this turquoise color and then mapped out my lines for my cactus. So I'm actually going to go in with this this brush water down, and I'm gonna kind of do the stippling motion to kind of spread out the lines a little bit and kind of blend it in, do some shadowing. So I'm actually going to be going from my left to my right. That way my hand is not resting on something I've already painted. Actually, I think I'm gonna turn this upside down. I would kind of like orientate the canvas how it's more comfortable for you. A lot of times going down, it lets gravity work with me, so it's a little bit easier. I'll start on the next line, and then I'll go back and finish. And I didn't do anything fancy with this line, guys. I literally just went like this. That's it. With this not being oils, I've been so used to doing oils lately that like the fast drying time is exhausting. As you're wiping it, when you go back on the second pass, it should create an ombre effect, and then it kind of fades into it and it causes like a shadow. However, if you don't get the right water ratio on your brush to begin with, then you kind of have to go over it a few times. Okay, next we're gonna put the bed for all of the sets of needles. So we're gonna go back in with the same little brush. And all of the humps is where the needles are going to go. So I'll go back in with my original color. Basically do just like little circles or like ovals, and then off a little bit. And first I'm going to go in with this like darker green color. And once you get your brush wet and just kind of like get off the excess, you're just gonna like stick it straight in. And then you're gonna start in the middle of your little circle and lightly go out. So I have a little too much water, so I'm just gonna lightly run it through my paper towel, dip it again. I'm just gonna be doing little lines. And you're going to go through all of the little holes and you're going to make like 3 to 6 little lines with this darker green. Some black with that same color to make it a little darker, and we're going to go back through and do the trace right over the lines we just did. That color. You don't have to get it exactly on those lines. It's supposed to look more like a shadow when you're done. do feel like it's kind of missing something, like I want to add something else to it, but I'm not really sure what it is. So I'm actually giving this to my cousin Kristen, so I'm gonna ask her if she wants me to put like a phrase on it or something. She's obsessed with plants, so I feel like this would be a great addition to her living space. But overall, for not having painted a cactus before, I think it's really good. Now, don't forget, if you would like a sketched out canvas that you can just like trace color by number type situation, then by all means reach out to me and I can get your mailing address and send it out and let you know price wise. It kind of depends on what size canvas that you want to paint on. This is 18 by 24, I believe. A lot of, if you go to Hobby Lobby, you can actually get these in a like set of 5, and it's cheaper to get it that way. But yeah, or you can just follow this video and you can look at whatever canvas your heart desires and do it on there. You can do a round canvas, square, rectangle, oval, heart even. Ooh, a heart or a diamond would be super cute. Maybe I should do that next. But I can do a sketched out canvas for you if you would like. And then you can just fill in the colors, or you can just, like I said, go along with this video and do it that way. The more you create things on your own and try out new subject matters, the better you will get over time. So don't get discouraged if you're like, I've never done this before. I've never painted a cactus before. While it's a pretty simple, rough idea of one and not really a realistic one would take way too long for this video, and I'm trying to keep these under an hour. So I hope you enjoyed number 2 of Let's Unwind, and if you have any suggestions of pictures you would like to see done, then definitely drop it in the comments below, and maybe that will be next month. So thank you for joining me, and I appreciate all your guys' support, and I will see you in the next one.